What's going on, traders? John with Tactical Trading here with our weekend review and our OTC Saturday video kind of combined into one. We will have one more video this weekend. That'll be the watch list. That'll be coming out tomorrow evening. We're kind of going to go over the watch list. Successful watch list it was. In fact, the past three watch lists have been terrific. And that swing trade video that I put out last week. We're going to start with that. The three non-penny stock trades that I said for swing trades, VVPR, SAVA, and NETE, all of them were up on the week from last week. The one that exploded was VVPR. This stock we initially called out a little over a month ago at $2.52. Last week it was $8.50. Still way higher than where we initially called it out, but I think this, I thought this thing still had a lot of room to run. And yesterday it did. This thing went up to $24.33 to only to settle the day at $16.28. So that's a double from last week. I pulled back in the after hours down almost to $15. I think this thing has had its pullback. I think this thing will base out, find some support, and grind its way back up. So I still like VVPR. SAVA was $11.47. It went up to $12 during the week, and to settle the week at $11.92. And NETE was $6.79, went as high as $8 to settle the week at $7.33. Now, the three penny stocks that we put on the swing trade list was one that was on the watch list, so we'll kind of just go over that one right now and get it over with. That was Sunworks. We called that one out of $2.09 on the watch list and on this video. Went as high as $5.19 and settled the week at $3.52. I still think this one has more to go. I still think this thing can test its $8 highs, so I still have this thing on my list and still love this stock. CPSH was $1.67, went as high as $2.22 to settle the week at $1.81. Still like this stock, and like I said, all these are swing trades I like for the next 90 days, so I don't have to be redundant and keep on repeating that I still like these. I still like all of these stocks. And GEVO was the third one. This one was 93 cents last week when we called it out. It went up to $1.48 during the week to settle the week at $1.04, and like I said, I still think this one has plenty of room to run. Now, the OTC list, the three we called out were BSRC, Buy Solar. This one was shade over a penny when I called it out. It's a shade over a penny now. There wasn't much movement on it. I think it went up about 10%, went down about 10%. So this thing's still trading in the in the same area that it was trading in. Worksport was 0.2225, so 22 cents and a quarter. This thing went up to as high as 24 cents during the week. It pulled back to close the week down about 8% at 0.207, so a shade over 20 cents or a shade under 21 cents. The one that really hit on this list is one I've been talking about quite often, and that's DSGT, DSG Global. This stock was 10 cents when we called it out last week. This thing shot as high as 21 cents yesterday and closed just a shade under 21 cents, right by the highs at 0.207. I still love this stock. I think this stock may end up 50 cents before it's all said and done over the next few weeks, and that's DSGT. Now, the watch list. We had Westwater Resources on the watch list. That was at $4 during the watch list. This thing went as high as $18.50. Huge gains on this one to settle the week at $8. They put out a PR Friday. I still think this one runs. CBAT was $3. This one went as high as $5.78 to settle the week at $3.26. It was still up a quarter at the end of the week. Again, we just already mentioned Sunworks, what that did. That was $2, went as high as $5.19 to pull back to $3.52 towards the end of the week. And CHFS, this one was the disappointment. Now, on Monday, we had a great day with this. It was 36 cents on the watch list. It went as high as 47 cents the morning after the watch list, but then it kind of just grinded right back down. Disappointing action during the rest of the week. I thought this one would have broke 50 cents, but it didn't, to close the week at 33.9 cents, so 0.339. So we had a really successful watch list, and that swing trade video, very successful on that. So And with the trading overview, this was the best week I've ever had. I was 9-0 this week. The last 3 weeks have been unbelievable. Now, I do know this has to slow down. This action can't keep up like this. If it does, we're all going to be millionaires, my friends. But that's not how the stock market works. There's ebbs and there's flows. But thankfully, I thank the Lord, this was the best week that I've had. I'll go over the trades that we had this week. First trade was Westwater Resources. We got in at $4.50. We sold out at $8.50. Now this thing ran $10 without me, and it was moving too quickly for me to, and kind of choppy for me to get back in. But I did see at the end of the day on Monday CBAT. I ended up getting this because this was running towards the end of the day at $4.14. And ended up getting out at $4.64, so a 50-cent gain. Now, to close the day on Monday in the after hours, I took another position in CBAT at $4.31. The following morning, we got out at $5.16. And in fact, on Tuesday's the day, Westwater Resources, I think, ran all the way up to 18. So that was 3-0 on Monday. On Tuesday, I did not take any trades until the end of the day. Right before the close, I took a rather nice position in OPTI at 0.0305. It was almost like magic how that worked, because as soon as I took the position, this thing shot up to 0.36. So I got a half a penny right away when I got into the position. So I was very pleased with that. I was thinking about taking my profits because I was very hesitant about holding overnight with their earnings, but I said, you know what, let this thing close in very strong. Let's just see how this thing works out. And it worked out really well. This, in fact, was the best trade of the week. Ended up in the morning, this thing gapped up into the fours. And while it did that, I was about to take my profits at 5 cents. I was like, you know what, I got enough. Let's just get out of here. I got 2 pennies. I'm really good on this trade. Over a couple $1,000s on this trade. And then right when I was about to sell, I saw a 1.5 million share bid come in at 5. So I said, well, let's just let this thing kind of pan out. I was looking at the level 2, and there was a lot stronger bids than offers coming in this. And then this thing ran up to about 5.5, 5.7, and then I saw another 2.2 million share bid come in. So I just backed off and let this thing run. This thing ran up all the way to 0.0642. As soon as it hit 642, I saw a 2 million share bid or offer come in on the top of that, and I put a market order in to sell right away. I had my finger on the trigger the whole time with a market order because I said, I'm not even going to play this. I want out when I want out. And so I put all my positions on a market order, had my thumb ready to press on the laptop, and ended up selling at 0.064. I almost nailed the high on this one. This was you're not going to do this every time. I don't shoot for bottoms. I don't shoot for tops. I let the level 2 dictate my trades, and this one was just a very easy trade to see that, with those sizable offer or bids coming in, and then once it hit that, above 6.4 and that sizable offer came in, then I knew it was time to get out, and luckily I did, because this thing just tanked afterwards. Later on in the day, in fact, over that night, because that was the following morning, I also took OPTT, took a small position at $2.50 in the after hours, and I ended up getting out at $2.93. This thing hit as high as $4.50, but that was before I could sell it, and it was still in the 340s, 330s. I thought this thing was going to go up, and it just didn't work out the way I thought, so I ended up getting out with a decent gain at $2.93. The following day, I did not make a trade during the day. I waited till the end of the day. In the after hours, I took a sizable position of a couple thousand shares in OEG. This is an oil and gas company, real cheap. I took it at 85 cents. At the end of the after hours, this thing kind of pushed its way up, and I figured it would be a nice morning. I also took a position in IO that evening, a very small position at $2.49. So the following morning when I woke up, I saw OEG. I wake up early, man. I woke up, it was like 4 in the morning. This stock was at $2.40. But I couldn't sell. I was in my TD Ameritrade account. So I had to sit there and watch this thing grind down and down and down. And this is why you never count your money before you make the sale, because I was already like, oh, look at this. This is the biggest trade I've had in years. And it just kind of worked its way down. At 6 a.m., I was ready to sell. It broke below 140, and then it shot back up to 160. I ended up getting out at 152. It ran up about 8 more cents without me, but whatever. I took my profits. I still made about a 67-cent profit on that on 2,000 shares. That's a beautiful, beautiful move. Over $1,200 trade right there, so you gotta love that. And on the IO, I ended up getting out at 256. So I got in at 249, got out at 256. This was a decent profit. I can't complain about that. Then the next that evening, I ended up taking CEI right on the close. I ended up getting on. This thing ran without me. I was ready to trade this thing, and I watched it, when it broke $1, and then it just started running. And I was like, and every time I wanted to get in, I felt like I was just chasing it. So I waited for it to pull back, and I felt it hit its lows around 110. So I got in right there at 1095, so just a shade under 110. Then I went to physical therapy, and while I was at physical therapy, this thing shot up to $1.42, where I did not sell it. So I ended up being stuck. I was going to sell it on the close of the after hours. I went with the family to a little drive-in type deal over in Orland Park here, and I'm just watching this. She's like, "Get off your phone," my wife's telling me. I said, "I got a trade going," and it went up. It went up into the 130s where I should have sold, because the next morning I woke up, this thing dropped below $1. And I said, this is going to be my first loss of the week. Oh, well, what are you going to do? But I hung on, and it dropped down into the 90s, went up to $1.05, back down into the 90s, and then all of a sudden, this thing started skyrocketing. 1.5, 1.010, or 110, 112, 115, 116. Once it hit 1.25, I put my sell order in, and it must have been at 125. I put the order in. I ended up getting filled at 126. So I can't complain. I ended up making 50 or 16.5 cents on a trade that I thought I was going to lose. And what had happened is they put out a PR. I didn't even know they put out the PR. I just saw this thing going up. I had to assume that's what happened, because it was trading very sluggish in the pre-market, and kind of shot up. The reasoning I took this trade is it traded very strong at the end of the day, and it was similar to what OEG did the following day. These real cheap, these real small oil and gas companies that are lower float. They're not real low float, but lower float. I figured hey, they're moving. Why not jump into the next one? And then yesterday during the day we traded OPTT on a not a huge share size. We got in at $2.45 at the break of the day high, and ended up getting out at $2.63. So pretty decent gain on that one. We ended up getting about 18 cents on that, and then I took a small position over the weekend in OPTT at $2.55 at the close. I took a real small position. We're going to see how that pans out. I think OPTT had a really strong day yesterday, and I think that may continue into Monday. Again, I could be wrong. My lucky streak has to end at some time, because a few of these trades did end up with pure luck. I have a pattern. I like my strong end of the day overnight pattern that I like to play. It's like a first green day, similar to the first OTC green day. Same thing with these NASDAQ plays. If they start to run in the after hours, I like to grab a little piece of them, because typically they'll run again in the morning. But this pattern has been working well for me. So we'll see how OPTT does. I think that one has found its support, and I think this one continues into next week. Now, for OTC Saturday, I know we went 13 minutes and just went long-winded on this, but kind of wanted to go over the week in review, and then go over some of the calls that I had earlier in the week, or late last week, or earlier this week. Let's see here. There is 4 stocks, really 5 stocks that I like. But 3 of them are in the same sector. They're all in the marijuana sector, and I think there's going to be a turn towards the marijuana sector as the election gets closer. We will all see how the numbers go. I think the polls are getting stronger and stronger for Joe Biden. Although, and I do think Donald Trump's going to win this election. Just like 4 years ago, Hillary Clinton on the day of election had a 92 or 93% chance of winning and ended up losing the election. I think that what's going on now, you have a lot of Trump supporters that are just they're bashful about saying who they're supporting because of the media and the perception of Trump supporters. If nobody wants to be called a racist, nobody wants to be called a bigot, and just for supporting a certain presidential candidate, I think that's absolutely asinine. But again, we don't get political on this channel. I do think Trump will win, but the polls show Joe Biden. And showing Joe Biden, they said they are going to federally legalize weed. So I do think that some of these weed plays will get a boost as the election comes closer. The first stock we're going to be talking about is actually a PPE play. This is HWKE Systems, HWKE. They closed at 0.584, so a shade over 58 cents on Friday. They were up 10%. They had also a good day on Thursday. This is the low float PPE company who they actually produce electronic election infection protection products. I like that. Election infection protection products. And, like N95 masks, gloves, sanitizers, things of that nature. They hit a high of $1.40 just in the beginning of August and have pulled back something hard. I mean, into the low 40s, maybe high 30s. They're on the daily chart. They're starting to curl back up. I think some momentum starting to come in. They're getting a little bit higher volume, and as that volume comes in, I think this thing may shoot up. I don't know if it tests those 140 highs, but from where it's at now at 58.5 cents, I mean, even if this thing gets to close to $1, there's still a lot of potential to be made in that, and that is HWKE, Hawkeye Systems. The second one is Talon Metals, TLOFF. This one closed at 0.2197. They were up 5% on Friday, so they closed just a shade under 22 cents. This is kind of off the theme of the mining companies and looking at some of these battery plays. Talon Metals is a decent company. Their numbers are decent. They're an OTC stock, so they can't be great, but this is a mining company who may benefit from this EV growth and this EV boom. What I like about this stock is coming real close to its 52-week highs. The 52-week highs are 26.4 cents, so 0.264. So they're only about 4.5 cents off that 52-week high. If they have one good day, it could break that. And we've seen with these OTC stocks, when they break their 52-week highs, they typically run. NWBO and some of these other stocks, you've seen what has happened when they break their 52-week highs. They tend to get a nice strong push. A lot of volume comes in and these things run. This isn't a hot sector, so I think this one can do it. So I definitely keep my eye on Talon Metals, TLOFF. Now, in the weed sector, there's Diego Pellicer, DWPP. There's NUGS. This is Cannabis Strategies. This is the one I want to bring to your attention. This one closed at 6.5 cents on Friday, up 6%, so it closed at 0.0654. This is a cannabis company who just recorded record sales and is reporting rapidly increasing growth just in July and August. This one may benefit from the polls with Biden showing obviously that he may win. So with pure legalization and full legalization, this company may gain some steam. And obviously, if their plan is to decriminalize marijuana, this company and all the weed companies will benefit. We will get a boom in this sector. So keep your eye on Cannabis Strategies. This is NUGS, very easy to remember. Now, the one that I like the best is Planet 13 Holdings, PLNHF. This company, I love this company for a long-term play. This would be a company I grab now. I mean, this was just $260 earlier in the week. I've been talking about this company for probably 2 months now, and I just think this one has huge potential to grow, and that's PLNHF. So, again, HWKE, Hawkeye Systems, Talon Metals, TLOFF, Cannabis Strategies, NUGS, and Planet 13 Holdings, PLNHF. Now, Planet 13 Holdings is a company out of Las Vegas, Nevada. They're rapidly growing, and their strategy is to grow all over the United States. So I really do like this company for more of a long term. It's probably the most solid of these weed companies that I do like, so I would definitely keep my eye on that. That's really all I got for you today. Typically I go into a little more depth on my OTC Saturday videos, but I've really been gearing in on these NASDAQ stocks. I've been doing a lot better on these NASDAQ stocks than I have been on the OTC stocks. Now, even you can see with my trading, I didn't take DSGT over the weekend. Typically, I would have been all over that. In fact, I tried to get in at 18.5 cents. It blew right past me. I didn't want to chase it into the 20s. And then I was going to buy it on the close, but I decided to go for OPTT. I think these stocks are moving a little better. Not that I don't think DSGT is not going to pop on Monday. I'm kind of regretting not doing that right now. But I didn't, so that's just the way it is. And who knows, that thing might open at 25 cents on Monday, and I'll be kicking myself. But DSGT is a company I really like, to really pop over the next few weeks. So keep your eye on DSGT. And like I said, that's all I got for you. As always, please like, please share, please subscribe. Thank you so much for letting us get to the 900 subscribers. We've got 100 to go to get to that 1,000 mark. Let's go. Anybody who hasn't subscribed, just do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. I know I don't put a lot of work in editing these videos or anything anything like that, but I do put a lot of time in and a lot of work in researching these companies and just basically sharing my journey in the stock market with you guys. So if you can, please hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If you got any stocks you want me to look at, put them in the comment section below, and we will see you tomorrow. Let's get that money, traders.